Hello, everyone. You're once more welcome to your channel, Science World. And today we will continue with your major paper 42 session 2022, the year 2022. Okay. So we're going to continue with question 5. Remember last time we did your question 6. That's a polymer question. You can see it there. The video is already uploaded and you can check it out. Okay. And secondly, I also wish to say that if you have not subscribed, try and do that. And also share this content to your friends. Subscribe so that you can meet more content, right? So question 5 reads, the reaction scheme shows 5 organic reactions numbered 1 to 5. Now this reaction scheme, you can also call it a synthetic route. And looking at this, of course, it looks like a basic synthetic route. In the AS and A2, you'll find complicated synthetic route questions. But whenever you have this kind of question in front of you, try and, pre-answer them. Is that okay? Just, write something, write short notes on them. Just write what you know about this reaction. Now, this reaction, of course, the first one says sugar reacts to give ethanol. I know that from my sugar to my ethanol, I'm going to have fermentation. So this is a fermentation reaction. Okay, and the conditions needed here, you're going to need your yeast. You're going to need your yeast, which supplies your enzymes. Okay, of course, you know the main enzymes that could be what? Your Z-mase and your maltase. I don't want to go deeper into this. So you all know the functions of all these enzymes in your fermentation process. Secondly, you also need a temperature of about 25 to 35 degrees centigrade for your enzymes to work best, or so that the yeast should not be destroyed. So you need that temperature, that temperature. And thirdly, you need an anaerobic condition. There's no oxygen. You don't need any oxygen to be there, right? So we set an anaerobic condition. So we're done with reaction 1. That's it. Now the reaction 2 says, or the steps 2 says, ethanol to your carbon dioxide. If we have carbon dioxide, then this is more of combustion. So that's more of a combustion reaction. And carbon dioxide shows that it is a complete combustion. You don't need to write complete, please. Just a combustion reaction, that's it. But also try to know the difference between a complete and an incomplete combustion. Incomplete will lead to the formation of what? Carbon monoxide or carbon 2 oxide. Is that okay? Thank you. The third step or third reaction, we have alkene to your ethanol. I might change my pen. Let me move to purple, violet. Let me move to violet. Alkene to your ethanol. So if this is what? A 2-carbon alcohol, then this should be a 2-carbon alkene. And the 2-carbon alkene should be an ethane. Right or right? The 2-carbon alkene should be an ethene, right or right? F, that's it. So in other words, my compound A is ethene. That's the alkene A should be ethene. Take note. So we're done that. Now, what's the reaction? What is that reaction? An alkene to an alcohol, that is an addition reaction. That's an addition reaction. Precisely your hydrogenation. Or is it hydrogenation? Hydration. Thank you. You're going to have your hydration reaction. Since water is being added. If water is added, then that's hydration. And if it's adding taking place, then it's an addition reaction. Coupled with the fact that your alkene or your ethene is unsaturated, right? Now, what are the reaction conditions? The reaction conditions here could be, you could have a catalyst. You need a catalyst here. You need a catalyst here, mainly phosphoric acid. I like it. You could use sulfuric acid. All right. So you have phosphoric acid. You need a temperature about 300 to what? 330 degrees centigrade. You also need an atmosphere of 60. That's it. And the fourth reaction, your alkene to what? Your alkane. So remember, this is what unsaturated. It should be saturated, and if this is ethene, then this is your ethane. That's your ethane. So I know that's my ethane. And what do I need here? The reaction here should be addition, because I'm adding hydrogen here. I'm adding hydrogen. And if I'm adding hydrogen, then it is more likely to be a hydrogenation reaction. Hydrogenation reaction. So this is what they want to see. So I've already exposed that scheme. Okay. For reaction 5, I noticed that you have ethanol to compound. See, there's no much information. So few information here. Few info here. So I need to go back to the question which concerns what compounds. See, maybe they could give us anything good. Now let's go to the question. A, name reaction 1. We've already done that, fermentation. So we just come and we write your fermentation simply here. Fermentation. The B part says name reaction 2 and write the chemical equation for this reaction. Where's reaction 2? This is my second step, so it's a combustion reaction. That's a combustion reaction. And you're asked to give the chemical equation. That is going to be your ethanol. You need to know the chemical formula of your ethanol. If you don't know, you just need to know, you need to know the general formula. Always try to know the general formula of your homologous series, the different homologous series. So for your alcohols, you could have CnH2n plus 1, then a functional group. That's it. So 2 carbon atoms or any constituent there, you're going to have C2, H what? 6 plus 1, 7. Or what? No, 6 plus 1, 5, 2. Sorry. So I'm going to have my 5. Is that okay? Good. And OH, that's my ethanol. Right or right? Is that ethanol? Thank you. Now with my oxygen, because excess oxygen to give me the 2 main products for your combustion reaction should be carbon dioxide and water plus your water. Is that okay? So am I correct? Am I balance my equation? I have 2 carbon atoms here, then I can put 2 there. What about hydrogen? 6 hydrogen atoms on my left. So I need 3 here to multiply by 2 to give 6. The oxygen atoms should be what? 7 on my right. So 7 oxygen here. So I need to put 3 here so that this is 6 plus this 1 gives you 7. That's it. That's it. They didn't ask for the states, so ignore the states. So that's my balanced chemical equation. Another thing I want to make mention here is, if they ask you a chemical equation and you give a word equation, you're going to score 0 for that question. Yes, they'll give you 0. If they also ask you, for example, if they ask you again, the word equation and you give the chemical equation, you score your marks. They'll give you marks. But if you give a wrong chemical equation, then you will lose your mark. Is that okay? So you're going to lose your mark. Take note on that. We move to the next question. Reaction 3 forms ethanol from alkene A. Identify alkene A. We already did that. We said it was ethene. So come to my blue pen. Come to my blue pen. Sorry. I put my ethene. That's it. State the type of reaction that occurs during reaction 3. Since it is an alkene to an alcohol, that's an addition reaction. That's an addition reaction. State the reagents and conditions. What's the reagent? We said the reagent should be what? Steam. And the conditions, the conditions will be, you need a catalyst, which is what? Phosphoric acid. You need a pressure of 60 atmosphere, and you also need a temperature of 300 to 330 degrees centigrade. So those are your conditions needed. You give any two, make sure the catalyst should be there. The catalyst should be there. And any of this, so you can put all here. Any of this, you have your full marks. The next, alkene A is converted to alkane B in reaction 4. State the reagent and conditions for reaction 4. State the reagent and conditions. So the conditions here, oh, I did not even give that. Anyway, the conditions will be what? The conditions here would be, the conditions will be you need heat and catalyst. You need heat and catalyst, and precisely, if you want to be precise in the AS and A2, you have to be precise. But IGCSE, just try catalyst, it's okay, it's understood. So you need nickel or platinum. You need nickel or platinum catalyst. That's that. The next question, state the general formula of alkenes. That's easy. CnH2n plus your 2. That's it. CH2n. Can I erase and make sure that I have a clean work? That's a general formula for the alkenes. The E part, ethanol is oxidized in reaction 5. You know, see, now they have given us what? An additional information about reaction 5. Remember, we had difficulty in what? Identifying that reaction. Since it is an oxidation reaction, then we know that if ethanol is oxidized, we're going to have what? A carboxylic acid. A carboxylic acid. Let's continue. By heating it with a dilute sulfuric acid and one other reagent. So if you're using a dilute sulfuric acid, it means that you're using an oxidizing agent, okay? Or the other reagent is an oxidizing agent. And using this dilute acid simply means you are acidifying that oxidizing agent. That's what it means. You are acidifying. You're making that oxidizing agent acidic. All right? So identify the other reagent. You could use potassium manganate 7. You could use potassium manganate 7 or potassium permanganate. So it's usually written as Kn. So if they did not mention this, you just say acidified potassium manganese 7. That's it. Just state that. Or you could also use potassium dichromate 6. Potassium dichromate. Potassium dichromate 6. Okay, and this is what K2Cr2O7. That's that. Now, another thing you want to know about this reaction is you will need to know the observation after oxidizing or after oxidation. You need to note the observations. What actually happens? What do you see after this oxidation? If you're using this, notice that the color changes from what? Purple to what? Colorless. Right? Now, I want you also to go to your comment box and also write me the color change here. So if we were to use potassium dichromate 6, what would be the color change? Please go to your comment box and tell us the color change. If possible, tell us what changed from what to what. Okay? What changed to what, in other words? Like, if I'm using potassium permanganate, the purple color would be what? The manganate ion. Change to what? The colorless what? Manganese 2+. That's it. So what is going to be observed when we use potassium dichromate 6? And what is changed to what? Is that okay? So I wonder, just put that in your comment box. Thank you. Name the homologous series compound C belongs to. Like we said, that's your carboxylic acid. If we oxidize your alcohol, so that's the reaction, that's the reaction scheme there. So if we oxidize your alcohol, we should have a carboxylic acid. So you're going to have your carboxylic acid. Your carboxylic acid. And finally, draw the structure of what? Compound C. So if this is ethanol, then you need to have, or you're going to get the ethanoic acid. You're going to get your ethanoic acid. So what is that structure? Since you have to show all the atoms, then you want the display. So they want you to draw the display. So you've shown all the atoms. Sometimes they'll ask you the structure. That's a display formula. Sometimes they'll ask you the structural formula. So if they ask you the structural formula, you just need to do CH3, then COH. That's it. COH. So that is the end of that question 5. That's the end. And may I give you one last tips about examinations? Whenever you're done with your exams, you need to go back and check your work. Take time to go back and check your work if you have the time, because you might make 1 or 2 mistakes. So if I'm going back to check my work, for example, I know I've answered this question, carboxylic acid, ethanol is oxidized. Okay, we're done with this. This is a general formula, we're done. And alkene is converted to this, to the reagent and conditions. Okay, we did the condition. Now, we are not done the reagents yet. Can you see now? So there's a missing mark here. So these are the things that students go through. You need what? Reagent here. Sometimes we lose mark not because we don't know. It's because of our own ignorance. So the reagent here would be hidden catalyst. So alkene A is converted to what? Alkene B. So we need hydrogen here, right or right? We need hydrogen as a reagent. That's it. So we continue checking if I thought there's anything. And by the way, if we're using hydrogen converting what? A saturated alkene to convert an unsaturated alkene to a saturated alkane. What is the significance of this reaction? Yes, tell me. How is this reaction important to the society? How is this reaction important to the society? That's the hydrogenation of what? Alkenes. The hydrogenation of alkenes. Hydrogenation of what? Alkenes. How is this reaction important to the society? How is it important? How is it important to industries? Let me put it that way. Why these reactions? Why are we doing these reactions? Why is it so beneficial? Okay. So I want you to also keep that in your comment box. Let's see how good you are, how industrious you could be after studying your organic chemistry. Okay, we keep checking. So that's addition 18. And let's check this one. Sometimes chemical equations tend to disappoint us. And we have ethanol. That's the formula for ethanol. Good. And we have oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water. 6, 3, 7. That's it, correct? Fermentation. And that's that. That's that about this question. So thank you very much for your time. And like we said, don't forget to subscribe and share this content. Also hit the notification bell so that whenever we upload a content, you'll be the first to get them. Right? Ciao. See you at the top.